seems an ungrateful one. I threw off an overcoat, took an armchair by the crackling logs, and awaited patiently the arrival of my hosts. Soon after dark they arrived, and gave me a most cordial welcome. Jupiter, grinning from ear to ear, bustled about to prepare some marsh hens for supper. Legrand was in one of his fits, how else shall I term them, of enthusiasm. He had found an unknown bivalve, forming a new genus, and more than this, he had hunted down and secured, with Jupiter's assistance, a scarabaeus, which he believed to be totally new, but in respect to which he wished to have my opinion on the morrow. "And why not tonight?" I asked, rubbing my hands over the blaze, and wishing the whole tribe of scarabaei at the devil. "Ah, if I had only known you were here," said Legrand. "But it's so long since I saw you, and how could I foresee that you would pay me a visit this very night of all others? As I was coming home, I met Lieutenant G, and from the fort, and very foolishly, I lent him the bug, so it will be impossible for you to see it until the morning. Stay here tonight, and I will send Jupe down for it at sunrise. It is the loveliest thing in creation." "What, sunrise?" "Nonsense, no, the bug. It is of a brilliant gold colour, about the size of a large hickory nut, with two jet-black spots near one extremity of the back, and another somewhat longer at the other. The antennae are—" "Dey ain't no tin in him, Massa Will. I keep a-tellin' you," he interrupted. "Jupiter, de bug is a ghoul bug, solid, ebbery bit of him, inside and all, sep him wing nebber, feel half so heavy a bug in my life." "Well, suppose it is Jupe," replied Legrand, somewhat more earnestly, it seemed to me, than the case demanded. "Is that any reason for your letting the birds burn? The colour," here he turned to me, "is really almost enough to warrant Jupiter's idea. You never saw a more brilliant metallic lustre than the scales emit, but of this you cannot judge till tomorrow. In the meantime I can give you the idea of the shape." Saying this, he seated himself at a small table, on which were a pen and ink, but no paper. He looked for some in a drawer, but found none. "Never mind," he said at length, "this will answer." And he drew from his waistcoat pocket a scrap of what I took to be very dirty foolscap, and made upon it a rough drawing with the pen. While he did this, I retained my seat by the fire, for I was still chilly. When the design was complete, he handed it to me without rising. As I received it, a loud growl was heard, succeeded by a scratching at the door. Jupiter opened it, and a large Newfoundland belonging to Legrand rushed in, leaped upon my shoulders, and loaded me with caresses, for I had shown him much attention during previous visits. When his gambols were over, I looked at the paper, and, to speak the truth, found myself not a little puzzled at what my friend had depicted. "Well," I said, contemplating it for some minutes, "this is a strange scarabaeus, I must confess new to me. Never saw anything like it before, unless it was a skull, or a death's head, which it more nearly resembles than anything else that has come under my observation." "A death's head?" echoed Legrand. "Oh, yes, well, it has something of that appearance upon paper, no doubt. The two upper black spots look like eyes, eh? And the longer one at the bottom like a mouth, and then the shape of the whole is oval." "Perhaps so," said I, "but Legrand, I fear you are no artist. I must wait until I see the beetle itself, if I'm to form any idea of its personal appearance." "Well, I don't know," said he, a little nettled. "I draw tolerably, should do it at least, have some good masters, and flatter myself that I am not quite a blockhead." "But my dear fellow, you are joking then," said I. "This is a very passable skull indeed. I must say that it is a very excellent skull, according to the vulgar notions about such specimens of physiology, and your scarabaeus must be the queerest scarabaeus in the world if it resembles it. Why, we may get up a very thrilling bit of superstition upon this hint. I presume you will call the bug Scarabaeus caput harmonius, or something of that kind. There are similar titles in the natural histories. But where are the antennae you spoke of?" "The antennae?" said Legrand, who seemed to be getting unaccountably warm upon the subject. "I am sure you must see the antennae. I made them as distinct as they are in the original insect, and I presume that is sufficient." "Well, well," I said, "perhaps you have, still I don't see them." And I handed him the paper without additional remark, nor wishing to ruffle his temper. But I was much surprised at the turn affairs had taken. His ill humour puzzled me, and, as of the drawing of the beetle, there were positively no antennae visible, and the whole did bear a very close resemblance to the ordinary cuts of a death's head. He received the paper very peevishly, and was about to